I know how you are feeling. Do you really know how I'm feeling? You don't. Who told you how I'm feeling? There are no two unfortunate events that are similar. Even if we lost our parents at the same time, I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know how you're feeling. And while it comes from a good place, it's not true. It's not true. Everyone experiences loss and grief very differently, even if they're identical. Even in a family setup, for instance, when I lost my mother, I have 4 siblings. Everybody was mourning something very, very different. People mourn different variations of people. It's possible that one of my siblings was mourning my mom's friendship. It's possible that I was mourning my mom's wise counsel. It's possible that the other sister was more mourning my mom's generosity. You know what I mean? So you don't know how they feel. What are the do's and don'ts of expressing sympathy? When we know better, we do better. A very warm welcome. My name is Eric. This is Ask Eric, where you and I try and suss out difficult conversations around grief, love, relationships, money, you name it. And the purpose for this conversation is just so that, we would know better. We would know better. Some people suffer many, many times before they would know it, simply because they lack the knowledge. And so I don't like speaking at you. I prefer instead to speak with you. And what we try and do at the tail end of all of these conversations and questions is to ask ourselves, how much am I scoring in the area of the conversation we've had, and which ways can I improve? So just like you, or if you haven't already, I've had the unfortunate event of losing a loved one. And it's often very, very, very tedious. Nobody prepares you for loss, and nobody likes talking about loss. You're thinking to yourself, is this really something that I want to experience? But loss and death does not decide that, I've affected these areas so much, and there's a lot of democracy around these area. Let me now affect the other area. So death comes to all of us, the best of us. And sometimes we are lost for words. Sometimes we are really shocked, we don't know what to say. And sometimes we are so shocked we say things that can be deemed as insensitive. And I thought the conversation around how to sympathize is one that would suffice. How do you sympathize? How? Do you just go there and wail when they're wailing? Or you make the loudest noises? Or you say things that have come to mind? Or you deny death? You're like, watcha, watcha, watcha. There is no way they've died. There is no way how they've died. That's what I want us to talk about. How is it you grieve? How do you show sorrow? Are you unfeeling, or do you much prefer that you're very wordy and you say so many things? To use my own personal experience, one of the things that I learned at the loss of my mom about 10 years ago, I observed a lot of people coming, and there was a lot of glib sympathies. One lady told me, do not worry, my son, the grass will grow. And I sat quietly late in the night and thought to myself, which grass? Who cut the grass and where is it growing from? And people say things like, at least they've gone to a better place. How do you know? Which place is better? We need them here. And I think sometimes we say things that we've not thought through. And while we are thinking we are comforting, what we end up doing is, just poking the wound further. So I was thinking about some of the things that would suffice as important things to say, and the things we keep saying that we should shun from saying. That's what this conversation is about. Of course, make it as interactive as possible. If somebody has told you something you found too unfeeling, too unseemly, share with me so that we can all learn together. Okay, so 3 golden rules that I think are important. Number 1, don't deny that the person has passed on. You can't go to somebody's house and say, no, you are lying, and start shaking people and saying, they've not died. They've died. We saw them in the morgue. They died. Okay, so that's out of the way. Try another one. Number 2, don't deny the bereaved, the emotional expressions. You know the way sometimes you're crying and somebody starts saying, Shy, Yaki, you've cried so much. You've cried. Hey, you'll cry like this for 4 days. It's a crying fest. You're just, you're sounding like an alarm. It's concerning. I mean, come on, they're grieving. That's what people who are grieving do. Allow people to express their feelings, however uncomfortable. And then finally, don't deny these death may change, that they may change, the death may change everybody's life. You know, things like, at least they suffered for long and you got to have a lot of experiences to say goodbye. You visited. There are people, let me tell you, there are people who are just called randomly, Para, Jonas died. You are better. You went to the hospital. Was it 9 months? You were just in the hospital. You're in the hospital. You're in the hospital. So you said many goodbyes. It must feel good, right? No, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. Just because they saw them through their pain at the later time of their death doesn't make them better than the other person who was called randomly to be told that somebody had died. I think all death is odious. All of it is painful. All of it is stressful. So don't try and one up this death and pity it against another death. Grief is grief. All of it feels really ugly. There's this thing where we like pitying one unfortunate event to the other. We start saying that, had you been like my mom, then you make it about you. Had it been like my mom's, who I was just, we had breakfast, lunchtime, I'm being called that they are gone. You are very lucky. You could count your blessings. Don't try and bastardize the whole experience and make it sound like, they're just dreaming, they'll wake up from a terrible dream. It is not true. It's painful. Grieve with them. Okay, so those are the 3 golden rules. So now, on to what are the do's in my books and don'ts in my book. What do we start with? Let's start with the don'ts. I know how you are feeling. Do you really know how I'm feeling? You don't. Who told you how I'm feeling? There are no 2 unfortunate events that are similar. Even if we lost our parents at the same time, I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know how you're feeling. And while it comes from a good place, it's not true. It's not true. Everyone experiences loss and grief very differently, even if they're identical. Even in a family setup, for instance, when I lost my mother, I have 4 siblings. Everybody was mourning something very, very different. People mourn different variations of people. It's possible that one of my siblings was mourning my mom's friendship. It's possible that I was mourning my mom's wise counsel. It's possible that the other sister was mourning my mom's generosity. You know what I mean? So you don't know how they feel. Quit saying that. That's a don't. She or he is in a better place, as we started earlier, unless you know for sure that the departed believed in a particular religious practice, or they believed that they were going to a particular place after this, then you could say that. But if you just came and you're saying, oh, they're in a better place, and maybe these guys they didn't ascribe to that faith, the family doesn't believe in that. So you see how hollow your sentiments are. They're not in a better place. They didn't care for better places. So drop it with your sanctimonious talk. Asking people, how are you doing? How are you holding up? Someone has died. Honestly, how are they holding up? They are holding up horribly every day, every day. When they wake up, they wail. Lunchtime, they eat their tears. In the evening, they are wailing. So there's no any other way that they're feeling. Okay? How are you feeling? How has it been? I know it's been 3 days. Is it better? It's not. Okay? Most people who have experienced death, the answer to this question is, I'm not feeling good. So now what you start doing when you ask people, how are you feeling? You are almost making them put up a facade because they don't want to disappoint you and they're probably tired of narrating the whole story of what they're feeling to 1,000 other people before you. So it's a very glib question. How am I feeling? Depressed? And then now what are you going to do about it? Huh? What are you going to do about it? You're going to again give me a whole sermon about how I should not feel depressed because these things happen to mankind and they're in a better place. So don't put them in a place where they have to give you a false face. Don't make them do that. Okay? Sometimes you can just sit there quietly and support them in their own way. And I think the cousin to how are you feeling is what can I do? You want them, those people who are grieving, to start describing for you the way you can help them. Sometimes they're not in that headspace for obvious reasons. So instead of saying, well, how may I be of help for you? You should know that I am here if you need anything. What do you need? You could again just pick up a chore. It could be something as simple as, for the next 1 month, because this is a very difficult time, I'm going to pick your kids from school. Every morning I'll pick them from home. Every evening I'll drop them back. I hope that's fine. And then you do as you've said. They're not called again to say that their kids are the only one left at the parking because you forgot. I think that's better than saying, how can I be of help? Is there something you need? Sometimes their minds are all over the place. They don't know. And many times people are even embarrassed to ask. Okay? Or you could just, bring about things like those disposable plates and cups, because they have a lot of guests coming in. So instead of, what can I do for you? You just say, I brought this disposable stuff to save you guys from washing dishes. You see, that's thoughtful, isn't it? Or I'm going to throw the trash. Or, I've made a lot of chapatis so that guys have something to escort the tea with, isn't it? All right? Another don't about showcasing empathy is simply, now you can start moving on with your life. Have you ever had somebody tell you that? When she was sick, your life literally stopped. Yeah, your life stopped. Because I remember you used to wake up in the morning before you come to the office, you rush to the hospital. Before tea time at 10 o'clock, you rush to the hospital. Before lunch break and in the afternoon and evening, your life was just literally home, hospital, home, hospital. Now you can move on with your life. Again, most of these things are said from a supposedly good place, but they are not thought through well. Rush to move back to your life is not the glorious things it sounds to be. You are sort of hurrying them to stop the grieving, and you're likening moving on with their life as something more important than someone they really value that they've lost. Do you get the drift? So it takes away more than it gives. And don't worry, you'll feel better soon. Will I really? One of the things you realize if you've gone through grief is that you just grow around grief. There's no day that feeling will never be icy. It will always be icy. So there's no day I'll wake up feeling like, it's 10 years since my mom died. Hey, I feel so much better. Yeah, it feels good. Hey, let me make some chamomile tea. Really? It will never feel better. Okay? So you're wondering, what are the do's? What are the do's then? Because from what you're saying, I just have to keep quiet because you've said everything I've been saying. And now I feel like a spectacular fool. That's not the goal. But there are better do's that we can always work on to express our sympathies when we are mourning at somebody, a family, a friend, a cousin, a distant relative, a colleague at work. A do for me, if you are at loss for words, telling the person that I am so sorry for your loss just suffices. That's enough. I am very sorry for your loss. You don't have to dramatize it. It's enough to let the other person who's mourning know that you care. I am so sorry for your loss. Don't add anything. Don't add, what killed them? They fought. They fought. Because even my aunt had it. My aunt had it. The same thing on the left side of their left ventricle. It was the left ventricle. So what my aunt did, which I think your uncle didn't do, by the way, because women are fighters. You see, now you are being funny. Eh? So now who made you Mr. Ventricle to start opining? You're not a medical doctor. I'm so sorry for your loss. Then you keep quiet. And then don't make glib comments like rip. I really wonder about that. Like, you're so tired, you can't write a full sentence on somebody's morning. Hi, Jane. I've just learned about your mother's demise. Please accept my most sincere condolences. May she rest in peace. That's so hard for you to write. You have to rip. R-I-P. Rip, rip. Rip, rip, rip. You don't think rip is very unfeeling? Haki, I heard rip, rip. Gosh. Another do. If you didn't know the person who died, you can offer to listen to the bereaved, and in turn, they'll feel cared for. Just listen. I don't know why we're uncomfortable with silence. Just sit there and listen. Yeah, you can even ask leading questions. When you're ready, you could tell them, I'd like to get together to learn more about your departed. I didn't know your mom really well. Once you feel better, let's grab coffee and, I would like to learn more about your mom. Were you guys close? Tell me about that, because I know you went to school in Europe. How was that? Did you guys speak every day? Things like that. Okay? Another do, acknowledge the difficulty and the pain and the grief that these must feel. These must be very hard for you, and keep quiet. Again, quit comparisons. This must be so hard for you, because now you see when my dad was hit here, like that. Hey, so what we did, hey, let me tell you. And like you guys, so we started, you guys are not crying. It's not in your culture. It's not in your culture, you guys. But you're feeling the pain. It's just that you don't cry. That's strange. That's strange, because we were discussing back there with my sister. How come you guys are not? You guys were not close. You're not close at all. Men can be funny. He was a deadbeat. Oh, he was not a deadbeat. He was not a deadbeat. Your dad was in your life. All of your life, your dad was in your life. All of your life. Well, but you guys are just choosing not to cry. That's interesting. You guys have buried many people. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's a scripture I love in the Bible. It says, where there are many words, sin is not absent. So tame your tongue. That's why I said in the beginning, I am so sorry for your loss. You cannot be faulted with that. Eric came here and said, I am so sorry for your loss, unless those people are unwell. But if you talk and talk and talk and talk and you're comparing, see, your uncle who did what? There's another auntie who took a mapera and you buried them. You will sin. This must be hard for you. Then you keep quiet. Then they'll say, oh my God, you have no idea. In the mornings on Saturdays, my dad and I would go for a long walk. I wonder what those walks would be like. They are not going to be the same again. We used to take Stuffy, our dog, and we'd walk, and Daffy would fall over and we'd just be barking, woo, woo, woo. I'm going to miss that. You've given them a chance to talk. Don't feel in the pew. Another do, I think these would suffice. If you knew the departed, you could make a very thoughtful comment about them. For instance, a friend of mine lost the dad. He had some terminal cancer. And we were really bonded, the dad and I. This is a personal story. This is now me telling you what I said. And when the dad died, we are very close, my friend and I. He called me very early in the morning and he was choking mid-sentence and he said, we've lost dad. And I was really moved. I said, okay, I'll look for time across the day. I'll come. And in the tentative period of mourning, I remember saying, which I don't know where I got this from, but finally, you can talk about how wonderful the person was to you. It means a lot to the people remembering him and mourning him or her. And so every time I'd visit their home, the dad had a knack to ask me, of all the people, it's a big family, they're over like 20. He'd say, where is Eric? Eric, pray for us. And he'd say that every time. And so I was always, sometimes I would try and hide. And many times if I met him, at restaurants, he'd be very, very endearing. He'd come and give me a word of advice. We talk about God, we talk about families, we talk about marriage. And I felt like we were connecting at a very deeper level. And that's what I said. I said, your dad was very wonderful to me. And he helped me in my walk in faith. Because every time I'd come to your house, he'd make sure he's picked me out from the crowd to pray. And so guys be like, oh, yeah, daddy used to do that. You see now, I feel like that is all so much better than these very shallow, very unfeeling, very almost like a signature remarks that we make. May he rest well. Rest in peace. Rip, rip, rip. Rip, rip. Grass will grow. Yeah. It's life. Yeah, what do you do? People die. Yeah, even me, I've had so many deaths. What do you think?